let me just invite you to start us off.
Thank you very much for having me. I think we need to speak with greater moral clarity on the threat that this regime poses, not just to the Iranian people itself, each and every day, but to its neighbors. I completely reject the previous U.S. administration's leadership trying to engage and appease at all cost. I think that sends a terrible message to the people of Iran. I think if you look at the whole notion of Rouhani as a moderate and the propagation of that myth, not just by the lobbyists for the mullahs and the regime, but frankly by a lot of Western leaders, a lot of Western governments. I can remember being in the Canadian Parliament and getting a question from the Liberal Party in opposition, saying, weren't we going to work with the newly elected government in Iran? And I said it was illegitimate, and they were aghast. And I said, well, how could any presidential election be legitimate when, number one, 51% of the population weren't even allowed to stand for election, let alone having to be endorsed by a panel of the mullahs to even stand as a candidate. So I think first and foremost we need to speak with greater moral clarity. I think the terms of political discourse are tremendously important. And one final opening comment is I've seen in the last 5 years, 6 years, so many people who I admire and respect literally pushing people aside to try to embrace Rouhani when he first visited the UN as president, or the number of, again, people who I respect and admire, flying in to kiss the ring in Tehran with large business delegations. And I think, frankly, we must be a lot stronger than that. It's not all about the almighty dollar and about the advancement of a nation's commercial interests. The people of Iran are watching. They will remember. They will remember who stood by them and who lacked the strength, the courage of their convictions.